So much, Bruno. Hello, everybody, and good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. So my name is Daniel O. I'm going to talk a little bit about the boosting AI developer experience with the Quarkus and LangChain4j and Azure OpenAI. You probably know a lot of demos and talks around AI infused or AI power application today or tomorrow or in the past. But I'm going to really show more like a live coding stuff. So again, my name is Daniel O from Red Hat, developer advocate role, and I'm Java champion, and also long-time Cloud Native Computing Foundation, also known as CNCF ambassador, and among others. So there are a lot of community contribution activity allows me to have see and meet a lot of awesome developers and platform engineer in this area. So here's my contact info. Daniel030. You can find me Google. You can actually search me in Google and then Twitter, X, and YouTube, and then GitHub, whatever you want. So before we jump into live demo, I'm going to talk a little bit about some AI services, how to design. So fundamentally, it's some kind of ambassador design pattern. So you can design and try to approach how to define your interaction between multi-LLMs and your AI application. So you probably have multiple language models for chatbots and tools and like text to image or text to video, depending on your demands and requirements. So the thing is how to make it easier and faster in the more standard way, communicate between your AI application and LLMs. So today I'm going to use a Quarkus, which is really awesome. Try to reduce your code modification or code development stuff, and then bring into more configuration model, which is pretty much easier Java developer. You can just define whatever you want your capability for AI application development in your application property file or YAML file or COM.XML or gradual model and so on. So we're going to use Azure OpenAI, but Quarkus, a lot of you have a multiple AI platform like OpenAI or Llama and Hugging Face and among others. But I'm going to talk about and showcase Azure OpenAI. So starting with that, you can actually have one dependency, for example, Maven project, LangChain4j, because Quarkus already integrated LangChain4j pretty much easier way rather than any other Java frameworks. And then you're going to start add some like a prompt with some annotation from LangChain4j. You're going to just define your new interface for your AI new service, which is like a REST AI service annotation on top of the interface. And then you can inject a dependency injection. Of course, you need to set like an API key targeting your LLM model running on some platform. I put under my API key with secret on my environment variable to access my Azure OpenAI. And then you're going to add like a more advanced AI capabilities such as tools, agent, and like agentic AI application like MCP protocol also and functioning calling. So for example, MCP, Josh, you just really talk about that. And the Quarkus also allows the Java developer to integrate and implement MCP server, just connect to external predefined MCP server, but also you can create your own custom MCP server on top of that without like almost zero code and put in the your configuration like a MCP. So what is your external MCP server with some like a command line like a npm or some of the Python stuff. When you need to run your custom MCP, you actually implement pretty much easier to develop your custom MCP client and server stuff. So embedded also RAG stuff to you probably know and heard a lot of times what RAG is, how to make it better response from your AI models when you inject your like a domain specific document. So fundamentally, you have to implement two pieces of the RAG capability. One is how to ingest the document into your vector store. You define some of the like code snippet stuff, and also you're going to retrieve that data from your vector store that is another step. How do you define the retriever on your Java application code? Of course, Quarkus router, you have like a fundamental CDI injection and so on. And then you can define your AI services, or which tool you, some agent you're going to use that with the retriever, just like this code snippet. And then a lot of developers, wow, this is so much not easier to build my own retriever as well as ingester. Don't worry, there are great, more easiest way to retrieve your document on your Java application, implement the RAG capability. That is easy RAG, part of LangChain4j. You're going to just add the LangChain4j RAG in a Quarkus application. And the only thing is, by default, you have to add the path where your documentation exists. Super easy. So here's my demo architecture today. So I'm going to try to showcase the several demo as many as possible today. And I'm going to try to new simple AI application with the Quarkus, which basically have some chatbot stuff. And then I'm going to create another AI application, which has some more advanced capability, for example, RAG. And also, even if I have enough time, I'm going to try to add some kind of new tool to send some email using some mailer, as well as some Quarkus, some other mail field extension, and so on. So in the whole AI application, I'm going to just connect to AI model, multi-AI model on top of the Azure OpenAI. And also, I need to use Azure AI Foundry to deploy model on top of the Azure OpenAI. So here's my demo repo, the github.com Daniel030, and the Quarkus Azure AI Git repo. Yeah, you can feel free fork and clone it, and then try to replicate this application on your local machine after this session. If you have any issue, please feel free reach out to me directly, or you could more than welcome to open the pull request or issue, and I'm happy to address that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm going to start my presentation here. And then, so starting with that, this is my Azure cloud based on my credential. I already created Azure OpenAI. You can see that there are some overview. Here's my endpoint and my key. And then you can see that endpoint among others. And then in order to deploy model on my own Azure OpenAI, I have to go to Azure Foundry portal, which is this one. I already deployed two models. One is GPT-4 or Mini for my chatbot application, and the other one is a text embedded ADA, the W2 model, which is an embedding model when I use the capability. So it's really great. You can find all like a URL, and for example, and there are some examples as well. You can have a Python, JavaScript, and REST API, and then Java code, and you can change the SDK and authentication way. And then here's a code snippet and how to actually implement and your Java code as an example. And there are all code snippet. So there are several ways you can scaffold new Quarkus project. You can go to maybe easiest way, go to Quarkus.io and then go to the Quarkus.io. It's a project starter or generate new project. You can actually change whatever you want, like an artifact. For example, here is like a Quarkus, Azure AI. You can change that, and then Maven, Gradle, and then Java version. And then you can generate the example. And the one of the interesting part, we actually Quarkus team categorize some most popular, like a common use case is when you develop Java application. So one of the biggest thing here, AI infused service, though, it automatically added to dependency added from Quarkus ecosystem. One of them is LangChain4j OpenAI and Easy RAG. This is we understand most Java developer wants to create a new AI application with the access to OpenAI, but also adding some RAG capability, more developer responsibility rather than fine tuning by AI engineers or data scientists. you can unselect, and then you can actually find Azure OpenAI. You can actually add one, and you can see that two application, the extension, and you can actually generate and download and then new project. So today I'm going to try to use Quarkus CLI, which is my favorite. I don't need to remember all parameter or extension name. It's pretty much easier for me to create a new Quarkus project. Let's say project name Quarkus Azure AI. Let me try to create a new one. Okay, and then I'm going to create two new project. And then it automatically generates a simple project. It's not AI application, but this is a pretty simple application. And then always first thing first, I'm going to run the Quarkus demo, which gives me live coding capability. And then whenever I change the code, I don't need to even start, restart, compile, rebuild any like an inner process. It automatically just done by Quarkus framework. So Quarkus is running. Probably I need to change my Java version. My local is now 24. I changed that. And then, as you can see, I just changed my XML, and it automatically starts Quarkus. And I don't need to do manually. It's significantly reduce my development time, like a developer productivity stuff. So when I go to dev UI, and then I'm going to try to make it bigger for you. And then Java REST API, and then hello is a simple application, hello world Quarkus REST. And then there's nothing in there. That's very simple, like a hello world. So now I'm going to add, let's say, Quarkus, add extension, LangChain4j and Azure OpenAI. So I'm going to try the new extension, and probably Quarkus extension. Okay, try this one. Okay, I just add a new one, and then when I go back to dev UI, and then you can see that. Let me try it a little bit smaller for me. Okay, now you see a bunch of the new extension. You can see that, for example, Quarkus LangChain4j, which is good. So. And then I just need to create one simple chatbot rather than like a fully qualified some front-end application. So to do that, let me try to go to Java directory and create a new interface. So let me try to change the interface. I'm going to try the new bot. And then I'm going to register this AI service as I mentioned earlier in my slide deck. And then I'm going to try to create say, write a job for me. And then like a string, like a topic, and integer, like some lines. That's it. And then I just need to do two things. One is the system message, is the initial message sending to my LLM to define the scope of LLM and some kind of behavior. So let's say you are a professional comedian in the United States. Okay. Okay, so that's it. And then I also needed to set the user message is every time when I prompt like a user input, it already sending to the LLM. So let me try to define a little bit interesting part here, like a write a joke about some topic, which is just some automatically bind from my parameter about in less than nice. Okay, just it. Just pretty simple. I just set up all prompting engineering stuff, system message for initial message to LLM, and then the user prompt with some annotation. And then I'm going to go to application property. I need to add to Azure OpenAI configuration to access here. So you can see that I just put in my API key and AI version and which is deployment name. And I go back to Azure, and you can see that my resource here, like a DOH OpenAI and Azure OpenAI with a resource name. Go to detail. Here is the model name. So all from my Azure stuff. And then my Quarkus dev mode is still running, and then go back to Quarkus dev UI. I'm going to quickly replay, and then now you can see that chat menu, which is great because I don't even enough time to today for this demo for 25 minutes to create a fancy front-end application. But Quarkus actually give me some dev UI, which is great for me. I just verify my the AI chatbot is working. So this is my like a system that you are professional. And then let me try to add like a Apple and then like a 10 eyes. And then go back to my Quarks demo. You can see that some logs here. Oh, your system message here, your user message, user Apple. And then it got us some, oh, this is just some joke, Apple, HO debate, Apple, some of the blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, this is just super funny, but this is actually working on my application, which is awesome. So I just need to give it some like a couple minutes to stand up new application. So let me give you some little bit interesting part, like try to add the tools more advanced stuff. So let me try to start this new, this existing one, and then go back to, and then let me try to create a new application right now, and then Quarkus, Azure AI, and the reacting. I gotta add the extension at the very beginning is Azure OpenAI. One is that, and the other is Easy Rack, and then now is like access by the UI. I just put in the like a Borex, the HTTP, some kind of thing. And then I'm gonna try to go to right directory and open my IDE here again. And then one interesting part, the Quarkus automatically generates some like a reg sample application. You can see that now I have some example document which should be ingest to my vector store. So the multiple type of format, as an example, ODT, some of the old format, your Linux or Fedora stuff in the text file, PDF file. When I open one of the text file, this is just some kind of retirement money market saving account, some offering. An example, hey, there's there's no like a monthly maintenance fee. And then another thing is a saving account, like a $0 ATM transaction and a surcharge fee. So some kind of new offering for like some finance company. So when I go to application and the bot is automatically generate just like I wrote it manually in the previous demo. And the system message, you are AI named bot. Let me try to change that like then. And then answering question and finance product, and then some of this more detail here. In the user message, literally wiring your question directly, and that's it. So in order to ask that, let me try to add some reacting. Let me try to delete it. And first of all, I'm going to try to Azure OpenAI access stuff. This is a GPT-4o mini. But as you mentioned earlier, when I go back to, again here, my model deployment, I have another model, which is the embedding model for my rack stuff. So I need to add the rack, the embedded model configuration in the Quarkus application, which is very simple. So like a embedding model. So here's the embedding model. I'm going to just use the different annotation here, like a parameter. Hey, this is my chat model, basically access to GPT-4o mini. And this is the embedding model. The same is a super different model name and then like a probably different key. But it's technically, I'm using same key for both model because these two models deployed in same my resources in Azure OpenAI. And then here's the resource name. This is the same thing. And then one last thing is the easy reg setting here, like some easy reg. This is a actual directory path. And then I'm going to reuse embedding some caching stuff and then some min-max size and resolve some stuff. Alrighty, and then I try to open my terminal window, and I'm going to run my Quarkus step. Hopefully it works. And then once it works, I'm going to go to my dev UI again. Okay, so Quarkus is running. Go to dev UI. Okay, not ready. Okay, probably right now. I got maybe go to really fast. Okay, here's chat, and then click on chat. Okay, here's my system messaging, you can see that my name here. And then what about tell me about the standard savings account? And then when I go back to my terminal, and then you can see that it automatically user prompt augmented by like some reg stuff here, all from my context, the document. And now you can see that in the WI tool, I actually prompted this one question, but this is all detailed from my document, from my reg capability, and AI actually answer this kind of stuff. But WI actually show what happened behind the scene, but your actual chatbot should be just to show your user prompt and then answer from AI model, which is good. So I think have a couple more minutes before I jump into the question and answer. Probably I can add one more thing, like a tools. So I'm gonna open a new terminal window here, and then add to, let's say I'm gonna try to add like an email capability as a tool. When I ask some question, which question automatically ingest and retrieve from reg, and then I'm gonna sending that result from AI model and sending to my email, just to make sure to save that information, but also sending somewhere, like some email communication stuff. To do that, Quarkus also provides some email capability as an extension, and some kind of some markup email mailer as well. So I just need to add some mailer and mail feed. Mail feed is some kind of some fake your email, some application. So it automatically restart by Quarkus app, as you can see. And then, so one of the good thing is it automatically, Quarkus is actually using out-of-box feature of test containers. So it automatically start my Mayfield as test container. So only thing I did I just add the extension, and Quarkus automatically detect and then try to stand up test container by default. I don't need to add some configuration. Hey, where's the container image, and then where's the test container key and value, my application property or YAML file, or I don't even add some code inside my Java application, like a method or a class and so on. So when I go back to dev UI, and then now you can see the mail feed. Okay, let me try to reload once again. Okay, now you can see the mail feed. It's like a fake my mailbox. There's nothing in there. And then I needed to try to create a new tool class here. Let's try to class here, email service. Okay, and then make sure this is like a application scope. And then I'm gonna inject mailer. Mailer, okay, mailer. And then I'm gonna try to like a starting content, and then make sure this send the details to email. That's how this tool invoke from prompt, and then like a mailer, and the sending to mail send with from like a jdconf xx.com, and then so new finance info for you. This is a mail subject, and the actual body is the content as a parameter. I'm gonna to set from, which is like a Daniel O and redhat.com. Okay, looks good. And then I just set it a new tool. It could be a database connection, whatever you want. And then I just needed to set the tool on my API, the AI services, which is email service class. That's all. Okay, hopefully it's working. And then let me try to reload. Just that way. I don't need to actually do that. Just make sure everything's okay. And then, okay, so tell me about the retirement money market, and send the details to my email. Okay. Go back to my terminal window. You can see that there are already embedding stuff. And then when I go to the retirement money market, and then there's no maintenance fee. I just already showed that. And then go back to here. Okay, now I can see that here is I tell me about this is originally I prompt, and then so the reg augmented your some of the detail, which is to make you better question to your AI model. And then two, invoke like a sending emails, which is invoke email service Java class here. And then I sent the money account to email, and then like some of the question answer from AI model. And when I go to mail field, and then I'm going to load, and now you can see that I got a new like from jd.conf xxx.com, and then like from Daniel O. And then you can see the new finance info for you. And then you can see that exactly from my AI model. Previously, you can see that in your chat box window, dev UI, but now I can see that thing on my the email and interface application, which is just so cool. So I think I'm done. I have a more demo if I have enough time today, like some MCP or more agentic stuff. But I think this is just, I feel this is still good enough for Java developer. They really want to find some practice how to get starting AI infused application development with Java and Quarkus, and then like Azure OpenAI, some of the multiple models, and then keep adding more capability from beginning chatbot and adding more capabilities such as like a RAG and more like a prompting engineering, as well as some tools. I just use an email, but you can actually connect to multiple tools, not only one tool, like access database and store some stuff or retrieve some data and combine and that info from database or messaging broker, as well as original answer from LLM model, and they put together and then write some new email content and then sending to your end user, like a customer service and so on. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm gonna just share my screen once again. And then here's my demo URL. Again, Daniel30 Quarkus Azure-AI. Please feel free fork and clone, and then follow my Git repo as well. I'm gonna keep putting on some great and helpful example with the Quarkus and AI and among others. And that's it. So is there any question today?
Thank you so much. This was an amazing presentation, and it's interesting to see the we just had Josh Long presenting to Spring developers, and now you bring in Quarkus approach
Yep.
for Jakarta and Quarkus developers using LangChain4j, which is perhaps the most well-known LLM framework or AI framework right now
Yep.
in the Java ecosystem. What is like the one thing that you feel like is still missing in the Java ecosystem for developers to build AI applications?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I think so. Except for MCP, it's still it's the Java developers ecosystem still lack of some like agentic library and ecosystem compared to like a Python ecosystem. There are many frameworks like AutoGen or Pydantic AI among others. For Java, we probably have like some big stuff like MCP right now rather than others. So that is maybe we still not super mature
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, agentic.
Yeah, no, interesting. Our next session is with Adib, who will talk about Spring AI. So I wonder, Adib, you gonna join us?
Thank you so much, everybody.